Good morning, Reed here, walking back home after dropping my kiddo off at her carpool to her nature program. And I want to say thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the comments. Super appreciate all that. It's great to chat with you here, both in this video form and in the comments that you guys bring forward. Today I'm thinking about our inner critic and the notion of, accomplishing different tasks and projects in our life. So I feel like my inner critic is on a big vacation. It's pretty great. I played some music yesterday, made a little song, and was it perfect? No. Does it need to be perfect? No. Until I have an obscene fan base, and at that point they're gonna recognize it like he's not aiming for perfection on this. Then they won't care anyway, It's all good. I'm just juggling all the things. And I think that for some of us who are juggling all the things, that notion of perfectionism or our inner critic can really just get in the way of actually accomplishing more of the tasks. That thing of don't let perfect be the enemy of the good comes up. And I want to tell you a couple of my tricks to getting out of my own way with that inner critic. So I have this concept that relates to painting, but it goes to whatever your canvas might be. It's just a thing of the first thing to do is ruin it. Just give yourself the space to make a mess, to screw it all up. And that can be at any point in the process, really. Some things you can't backtrack on, and other things you can. And sometimes by making a mess or screwing it up, you actually find interesting new things to create or do, or angles of accomplishment that bring out a new form of intrigue. And so I like to love that concept of making a mess or screwing it up to fuel at least the beginning stage, and sometimes later on in the process, where it's just I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to see what happens, not worry too much about the outcome in the moment. That's one trick I use. Another trick is relating to finishing a thing. It can be real easy to nitpick that last 10%. Some people it's 20%. I feel bad for the people who it's 30%. But whatever percentage is that finishing point, sometimes just calling it is the thing to do. To be you know what, I could spend another hour, day, week, month, year, decade plus refining this to that point of perfection, and being I like this as it is good enough. And again, just allowing liking it to be okay. It doesn't have to be, I love this thing and I want it to be my life forever. In fact, I think as an artist, the ability to release something to the public and being okay with it, if you're only waiting for that moment of I love it, it might not happen that often. And also this thing of to make a lot of something and to then pick from that large assortment what you actually like, compared to trying to get one thing just perfect, you'll actually grow so much in that process that you'll find something out of that much more massive amount of whatever you've created than you will in a single piece. And so allowing that 90% to be good enough and move on to the next thing and see what happens from there. Now, if you are a perfectionist, realize that you can always go back and pick up the thing that's at 90% and put in the time on it. maybe give yourself a time frame. Like for this month, everything I create, I'll bring to 90% or whatever percentage makes you feel good, 80, 70, whatever. And then look through it all, listen to it all, whatever medium is, you know, feel it. And then ask yourself, what of these things are worth putting in that extra amount of energy to? And sometimes what I find is like, oh, I have enough material here that I can actually release a given body of work as it is. And, or maybe it only takes a little bit of time to get up another percentage or two, so that it has that much more feeling of consistency, coherency, whatever it is. But again, the third thing is having that time frame on it. You know, some people call it deadline. That's pretty two-dimensional. I like going down to one-dimensional. It's a life point. You know, that period at the end of a sentence, it's finished. There's nothing after that, unless it's a paragraph. You get my point. There's period. Maybe it's an exclamation point. It's okay if it's question mark, you know? The point is to have that endpoint in place so that you can just cut yourself off from making any more changes to it. I find that's really helpful in actually having something, whether or not I'm like in love with it, I at least like get to that point. I'm like, that's it. I'm not going to do any more on this. So I did that a while back for performance. I think it was like a couple years ago now. And I had a shirt I was working on making, and adding all these tiny pieces of thread to it that were sticking out to make it almost look like a hairy shirt. And it was not done. But I got to the point where I'm like, the show is tomorrow, and this thing has hours more work that needs to happen on it, and I just don't have that time. So it's been sitting in my drawer now for those last couple of years. I'm not doing anything with it. But now I'm thinking, okay, I want to do a show this November, and for an encore portion of it, this outfit that I was working on would be great to have finished. So now I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that, you know, I'm going to call it 74% complete shirt and see how many more percentages I can add to it to get it close to done. Mind you, I want to make a mask for this thing too. And because sometimes, you know, costume really makes the persona, gives the performance its thing, gives your creative muse the fuel that it needs to feel full and expansive in that role that you're playing. Like, we're all playing roles. We all wear different outfits. And our outfits, our costumes, really help to bring the character of ourselves home. So you might even try, in whatever project you're doing, to develop a particular outfit that you put on to make you feel like you're in the zone of that given creative task. And that creative task could be work related, it could be just for pure fun, it could be just things around your house, sometimes just cleaning up. It can be a task that you need to get 90% because 100% just isn't going to happen. I know that's true for me with family, my kids and such. Anyway, those are my quick tips for you guys today. I hope this helps you to feel a bit more accomplished in all the things that you're up to fuel some of your creativity in whatever realm it's taking place in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting down below on any tips and tricks you have for bringing more completion to your projects that you're up to. And have too much fun.